So somebody sent me a link to a video that Gage Mowing did, and he was talking about, you know, a non-compete, you know, getting anybody that works out there, you know, weed eating or whatever, he was going to have them sign a non-compete. I mean, dude, it just shows how inexperienced he really is. You know, first of all, a non-compete really on this scale is really not enforceable, at least down here where I'm at. It just shows you, but beyond the non-compete part, let's forget about that for one moment. Think about the relationships that you have with your customers. The relationships that you have are what keeps the customers around. It ain't because you have an employee sign a non-compete. I've never had an employee sign anything like that. I never worried about it, because if I'm on the verge of losing the customer that quick, that close, on the verge of losing them, then they can go. That's the way I think. I've always thought like that. I've never really been concerned about someone coming in, swooping in and wooing my customers. Never. Because of the relationship that I have built with them. You know, I mean, with every one of them, I'm trying to think, as I'm speaking to you guys, I'm trying to think of a customer that would, you know, drop me and hire somebody that's worked for me. I can't think of any. But I've been doing it a long time. So I got relationships that I have built over years and years. This guy, he doesn't have all that. So it just reeks of inexperience when you try to get guys to do that. You know, to me, it's like, and I'm not anybody special, you're probably not going to find anybody. I mean, you'll find guys that'll probably sign it, but it doesn't mean anything, I guess. At the end of the day, a guy will sign that, and it's nothing. And for you to think that you're going to get employees to, you know, that you're hiring out to sign that, well, they may sign it, but you'll probably have a whole stack of them in one summer, because you'll go through so many guys. Not because of the non-compete thing, but because of just the lay of the land on the employee pool, if you will. People don't want to work, man, and they only want to work when they're broke, and that never coincides with me and the business. So, and then you put, you know, well, a couple of things. You put a rookie lawn business owner, lack of experience, right, with everything, with employees. I know he says that he, you know, but he ain't seen employees like he fit into. And you put, and then lack of a lot of work. You don't really have enough work to justify hiring nobody. You think you're going to hire somebody, they're going to sign a non-compete, and they're going to work, you know, 10 hours a week or 2 days a week or whatever. I mean, I never even thought about hiring anybody until I was at about 40 lawns. It never even occurred to me. I'm talking about hire somebody regular. You know, you might be able to get some kids in the neighborhood to help you out here and there. That's what I did. I'll be honest. I got kids in the neighborhood to, you know, of course with their parents' approval, to come out with me and weed eat and stuff. And I would pay them accordingly, right? And it gave them, you know, a little extra spending money or whatever. We might go to, but of course this was back in 2010, we might go do 2 properties in the neighborhood and I'd give them $20 or something like that, you know. They were still, even back then, they were still making, you know, more than they would make anywhere else. They were making $10 an hour, $12 an hour. give or take. And biggest thing is they were getting money, you know, and learning, you know, just, you know, how to spend time and stuff. I don't really see you hiring and that's been one of my, the reason I know all this is because what I'm fixing to say is because it's been my downfall. Not downfall, but my, you know, nemesis, if you will. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. So if you don't have enough work for a guy, the less work you got for someone, the sorrier the help's going to be. If you don't have a guy that is able to work, you know, at minimum, you know, if you're paying him by the hour, and I know this guy's going to be paying by the hour because he's, you know, he's not making anything, he has to pay by the hour. And he doesn't really, you know, understand all the cost and all the things it really takes to run a lawn maintenance business. And he doesn't have the equipment to justify having another person. I would have another person out. Well, I didn't even have, when I started, I didn't even have equipment as good as his equipment. I didn't have a Turf Tiger or a stand-on, whatever they call those stand-on that Skag makes. I didn't have none of that. I had tractor mowers and, you know, but I've built this thing. Nobody is, you know, there's no other way to say it. And when you build something from scratch, and he's in the process of doing that, I guess, there was not a YouTube like it is now. There was not a Ray on YouTube telling you the things that he was going through so you would dodge those. See, now there's a lot of things that you can dodge just by going on YouTube. Whether it's me or somebody else or whatever. And I'm not no business mogul or nothing like that. I'm just, you know, Chuck out here, you know, in the grind every day, working hard, working honest, providing for my family and, you know, and for my life. That's all I am. I don't claim to be anything more than that. But if I thought that I could hire guys and pay them blah, blah dollars an hour, I would have to have enough lawns to justify that. Otherwise, I can't. I mean, what kind of guy are you going to hire that wants to work 1 day a week? I mean, I don't see how you can even justify that. And a lot of, you know, new business owners are, especially, and I can only speak for guys that are coming into this game. I can't speak for any other business, you know. But in this game, it costs a lot of money to branch and to grow and to and hey, y'all say, look, I'm by myself with one truck, but I have the capacity to run 2 trucks, and it ain't about anything other than just finding somebody that can run the other truck, that will answer their phone, that, you know, has bills to pay. And I can provide a lot more than some young rookie guy that has no experience in this game. Because see, I can put a guy and he can work 30 hours a week and he can make as much as somebody else working 40 hours a week. Because, well, I'm a G out here and I know exactly how to get to the money. And I've had a lot of guys out here. So I know how to get to the money quickly. So if a guy ain't got no experience, I know how to still get to the money. And teaching him along the way with some of my experience. If I didn't have all that experience, then the guy he'd be working 40 hours a week and I'd be paying out him at 40 hours a week, and then I look at my books and I wouldn't be making nothing if I only got 20 customers. You know, a lot of people are quick to hire, you know, and to me, you need to be You need to be earned. You need to be at your maximum level of what you can do before you hire. Unless you're going to hire a little kid or something in the neighborhood. You know, I'm talking about a grown man paying grown man money on the reg. That's what I'm talking about. You're not going to. I don't see how you can even. I would laugh at myself if I did a video and I'm talking about hiring somebody and I got 20 lawns and I'm talking about hiring somebody. And then expect them to sign a non-compete, which, it's not a big deal to me because I know they don't mean nothing. But apparently to this guy, it's a big deal. He's all worried about the wrong thing. You need to worry about doing what you say you're going to do. Worry about, building your clientele up and making it where it's hard to fire you. See, I know based on what I do, the experience I have, and not that I'm special or nothing, the experience I have and the customers I have the customer relationships that I have nurtured over the years, I don't worry about none of that, man. I just don't. And 9 times out of 10, if you hire a guy to come out here and weed eat for you, and he is in a spot to where he can approach your customers and possibly steal your customers, then he's not going to be working for you anyway. You're not going to hire that guy. That guy's not. I mean, he's not available because he's doing his own gig. He's not going to come work for you for $15 an hour, or $20, whatever you want to pay him, $20 an hour, and work 10 hours a week and be in a spot to where he can take your customers. You can't. To me, y'all, you just can't worry about somebody taking your customers. It's a worry that I see a lot of other, landscapers and YouTube, especially guys on YouTube, where they put a big emphasis on that. My customers are not going to do that. And any of them that would, well, I don't want them anyway. But I'm coming from a place of a lot of experience. And it really is funny to me that guys that are new in this don't listen to the guys that are that got a lot of experience. They want to call us old timers and old farts and all that. But what they don't realize is that everything that I'm telling them is true. And if you watch over time, everything that I'm telling this particular dude is coming true. He's already went through 2 employees and he ain't even been in 2 weeks. He says something about an employee, he likes to do a lot of clickbaiting too. New employee and all this. And I ain't seen an employee yet. Not yet. I hear him talking. About employees, but I ain't seen nothing. And that's what you got to watch out for when you're watching guys on YouTube. What do you see? Damn, the hell with what they're saying. What do you see? If what you're seeing is not in line with what they're saying, then you know that it's BS. And I think a couple people came in his comments talking about that non-compete, and they were like, that's a joke. And it is a joke. Now, if you were in some corporate job making $250,000 a year and you had trade secrets and all that, I can see that. But to weed eat lawns for a startup business, I mean, come on, dude. And it's at the end of the day, it's unenforceable, and I've never done that. And I don't see it doesn't take a rocket scientist to, just a little bit of experience would tell this dude that. That's energy and emphasis, busy paperwork shit that don't make you no money. And a lot of these young guys, they're so naive that they think that that's the way to spend their time. And I'm telling you that a non-compete is not enforceable. not on this level. And if it is enforceable, you're gonna have to hire an attorney to fight it and all that. And then it comes back to, well, how do you want to spend your time? I want to spend my time in profit mode, forward mode. I don't want to spend my time worrying about an employee going behind me and stealing my customers. When you say that, and when your mindset is like that, from my perspective, when I see that in other lawn care guys or whatever, and I see that, it reeks of a lack of self-confidence. It reeks of non-personable type of person that doesn't really know how to build a relationship with customers. See, I might not have learned everything I'm supposed to learn out here, and I might not be doing everything just right. But one thing there's a couple things that I'm really good at. Number one is my time management. I'm really good at that. Number two, building relationships. I'm excellent. I said excellent at that. And if you're not good at building relationships, and your business is just going to be a blinders on just business, right? Like Walmart or wherever, where they have to isolate certain things just to stay going. They can't worry about everybody crying about stuff. They can't worry about all the competition. They just have to keep moving forward, but they don't have no personal relationships with anybody. See, when you start your own gig, it's all about me, the person that is in the business, that determines whether you're going to get the customers required to stay afloat and be able to keep them. And in order to keep them, which is the cornerstone of my business, is to build personal relationships with all of them. And that comes supernatural to me. Well, see, I'm just a personable kind of guy. I know my YouTube videos may not emphasize that a lot, but if you know me, and you can ask anybody that watches the channel that knows me in the comments or whatever, if they know me, they know that I'm a very personable kind of guy. And if you think you're going to run numbers, just a numbers business, in this kind of work starting out with all the competition out there, you got to have something a little bit different than that. It ain't going to be, people are not going to bite. They're not. Yeah, you might be able to get through a season or two, but you're going to see, by the time you get to season 3 or 4, you're going to see that everything us old timers have told you rings true. And yeah, there's great ideas out there every day of marketing and all the things that people do to market. Now, I don't spend my time doing that at this point. I've never really had a hardcore marketing strategy. Well, Ray, maybe that's why you ain't grown. Well, no, that can't be why I ain't grown. The reason I ain't grown is because when I do put down a little marketing, just a little bit, I get overwhelmed, and then I don't have no labor. So that's where I'm at. So I ride that fence of marketing versus what I can do and all that. A lot of times you can't, if you market too much, especially a guy that's not ready, to me, we'll just say, for instance, say for this guy, they drop 30 lawns in his lap. He markets, spending money, market, spending thousands on marketing, right? And then bam, okay, he gets 30 new customers with 35 new lawns. Or we'll say he gets 20 customers with 25 new lawns, but some customers got more than one. And now what? See, if you're already at 25 or 30 and you get an additional 30, now you're at 60. Well, you got to be ready for that. So that's all, at least that's always been my thinking. I didn't want to never market more than what I could actually do. And I you know, I don't know everything either. There may be some benefits to marketing, and then what ends up happening to me is if I market and keep and when I say market, for me, it ain't no door hangers or none of that stuff. It's all strictly internet stuff. You know, Facebook next door, blast email, stuff like that, or referrals. But when you say he gets an additional 30 lawns with 30 new customers in a 2-week period. Well, he's not ready to run a second truck because he doesn't have a second truck. He's not ready to to take on more work, but he's only got one lawnmower, one trailer. One trailer that can only haul one lawnmower. So the way I've done it, I'm not saying I'm right, the way I've done it, the market a little bit, I kind of get a lay of the land, and then I see, okay, I need to be able to haul 2 mowers, right? And so first things first, let's get a trailer that can haul 2 mowers before I get deep into marketing. I'd rather spend that money on a trailer to make me more efficient, so where I can take on 30 customers. If somebody dropped 30 customers on me right now, with all my experience, all my equipment, and all my stuff, know-how and all that, if they drop 30 customers on me in one whop, I'd be in trouble. I could overcome it eventually, but I would be in trouble because, well, I don't have labor. And then out of those 30, for me, I would go through them and I would say, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then I would probably do them all one time. And then I would determine probably out of those 30, probably 10 of them, I'm not going to want to work for whatever reason I think. So to have the ability to hire an employee and not have any work for them, I run into that now. Well, you just ain't built the thing right. Maybe so, but at the end of the day, if I got an employee out here and we're working every day, we run out of work. If we don't get no rain or nothing, we'll run out of work. You know, lawn maintenance work. I could do 20 I could do 20 customers solo, extremely part-time. I mean, all the way up to, I want to say all the way up to around 40 or so. And if the density's right, then, you know, but keep in mind too, that I don't cut every week. I cut every 2 weeks. So that changes the dynamics just a little bit. My customers here, and it has a lot to do with where you're at too, like where you live, your location. See, down here in the South, you know, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, you know, our growing season is really long. And I don't know about Chad and Irv. I know they're over in Alabama. I don't know how many weekly yards they have, but I would have to venture to guess not many. I might be wrong. You know, I don't. At this year, I don't have any weekly lawns. I dropped them because they 9 times out of 10 it didn't need it, and they were the most picky. And they would, and the biggest thing is it screwed my scheduling up. But you can't wait and get, you know, overwhelmed before you start making strategic moves to be able to do more work. And it doesn't happen as fast as some of these guys show you. And you'll see. I feel like, you know, most people can do this for a living, but a couple of things they have to have, traits they have to have in order to really do it and do it. They got to be disciplined with their money. They got to be personable. They got to be able to see the future a little bit. And they got to be able to plan accordingly. And of course, they have to be efficient. You know, if you're not efficient, then, you know, I mean, if you started a business last month, you probably don't even know how to be efficient yet. Not really efficient. You probably don't even know how do you train somebody when you're still in training. And, you know, there's a lot to learn out here than you know, guys like, you know, Irv and me and Eddie and Matt MG and, you know, Randall over there at Elite and Chad. You know, we might make it look easier than it really is. But, you know, I doubt, I don't know, I might be wrong, maybe Chad can chime in. I doubt any Chad or Irv has anybody sign a non-compete clause. I mean, that's ridiculous, you know, for a menial labor job. That means that you don't have any confidence in yourself. That's what that means. Or lack of experience, or a little bit of both. Probably more than likely a little bit of both. But I just wanted to do a quick video this morning and touch on that. And yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add. I never saw the employee on the clickbait. Where's the employee at? I never saw him. New employee, where's he at? See, he probably didn't show up. And then one look at dude's videos, I mean, I'm sure that he's not going to want to work for him. Because dude's a dick. And he needs to be counting his lucky stars that, he needs to be counting his lucky stars that he hasn't got overwhelmed with work. But he doesn't really strike me as a very personable kind of guy. You know, he's not very humble. And whenever you start a business, you got to be a little bit humble, you know, I mean, just a little bit. And that doesn't take away from your confidence, you know, but it's hard to be confident about something you don't know nothing about. And it comes off as fake to me, because how could you possibly be confident in something that you don't know nothing about or very little about? How are you going to train somebody to do what you don't even know how to do? And come on YouTube and put content out like you're some Mac Daddy business owner. I mean, I can tell by just the way he does the properties that I've seen that he doesn't really know about it, how to be super efficient. He'll learn, because if he don't, he'll pay. And I don't expect guys to come out here and just start it and be super efficient like I am. Of course, sometimes I'm not, you know, but I just can't get over the non-compete, y'all. Sorry. I just can't get over that, man. You know, never heard of nothing like that.